She came to Shreveport 6 years ago. She's been at Sci-Port the whole time she's been here. While she's been here, Sci-Port has been named the 8th best science center in the country, competing against all of the big cities, and we came out 8th on the list. She's on the international board for the Association of Science and Technology Centers. She won the Paul Schaefer Award for Leadership. She continues to be passionate about leading the Sci-Port organization. Well, I would tell you, I have a lot of things I could tell you about Ann because I talked to her almost every day for the 2 years I was chairman of the board, but I don't think I can even talk publicly about a lot of that. She continues to keep Sci-Port relevant locally with expanded programming such as Bodies or Titanic or currently Legos. And she gets Sci-Port involved internationally with Chinese endeavors and Spanish endeavors, and she's always thinking really outside of the box. She's inventive, creative, and intensely passionate about Sci-Port, helping kids learn, leading the most amazing team and staff at the organization. And she loves all things Louisiana, the food, the culture, the cruise, the Mardi Gras. I'm proud to introduce my friend, Ann Fumarolo.
Now you know why I always tell everybody I have the best job in Louisiana. And Mike's not going to tell you. For 2 years, I would call up Mike McSwain and say nothing. Just listen to me complain. Don't try to fix it, just listen to me. So I've had a wonderful time at Sci-Port. Love Sci-Port intensely. We're going to do a little quiz here first. And I'm not doing anything over there, so you can't look over there. This is all about me. And all of you who know me know that. Okay, ready. We're going to ask you to raise your hands. How many of you remember your very first trip to a museum? Keep your hands up, everybody. I look around. A lot of people remember that. Out of the people who have their hands up, how many of you remember who you were with on that very first trip? All right, keep those hands up. How many of you remember something really cool you saw on that first trip to your museum? All right, we're going to try one more. How many of you remember what you ate? All right, food didn't mean that much. As you can see, a trip to the museum or a science center is something that you remember for a lifetime. You remember who you were with, you remember things you've done. My first trip was to the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry, and I've been back many times. I could do the coal train ride for them. They'd let me get up there. I could do it because I was so amazed at it. During the past 15 years, over 2.9 million people will have that memory of Sci-Port, that they'll remember where they were, who they were with, and what they were doing on one day. So that's something really exciting about a science center. I'm going to tell you right now the fun facts that I bet you don't know, all the fun facts at Sci-Port. Number one, we do have a board of directors, and I have been privileged to have wonderful board chair. I'm already in grieving because Mike isn't on the board for he's 6 days off, 359 days till he's back. We have to take a 1 year off. Right now it is led by Kyle McInnes, another wonderful young leader in the community. We have a building that is 92,000 square feet. If you did not know that, it was added on to about 8 years ago. How many people do you think we see a year? Anybody want to guess?
2.
I'm sorry? No, per year. I'd love to see 2 million. My budget would be a whole lot better. We see about 200,000 people a year. It's a zero. It's a zero. And out of that 200,000, 75,000 of those come as kids with school groups. Our budget is $3.5 million. And one of the great things to know is our earned revenue, which is the stuff that we earn, like you pay when you come in the door, I consider that earned. You buy something in the gift store, is 62%, and our unearned is 38%. Why that's an important fact to tell all of you is that when science centers were first brought about, the funding thing was always a third you got from the government, a third you got from what you sold, people coming in the door, and a third from donors. Well, as you can see, we've had to ramp up our earned deferred revenue to 60% because we've lost a lot of our government funding. The day that I stepped into Sci-Port, we never had to worry about money, was what I was told, and we lost our government funding. We now are down to about 7% of our income is government funding versus that 30-some%. So during the past 6 years, we've really had to look at different business models, running really fast to make sure that the doors can stay open, closing some days and doing all of those things. We do have, this will surprise some of you, 80 employees, but 35 of them are full-time employees and the rest of them are seasonal employees. So if you bring your kids down there for camp or something, you're going to have some of our young folk down there that are only seasonal. But there are 35 of us that are full-time. We do outreach, and we did outreach last year in 44 different parishes in the state of Louisiana, 3 counties in Mississippi, 6 counties in Arkansas, and 6 counties in Texas. So we do outreach everywhere. We do all kinds of programs, not a couple programs. We do 318 different programs. So when we talk about programs, that might be something we do for a school. It might be something everybody comes in and has to have their hair standing out this way due to the bandograph. We do over 300 different programs that we have, that people on the floor have to know. We continually have to invent new programs. Right now we're looking for some federal funding because I had this dream one night, I told Mike this dream, that I believe science should be a thing that everybody in this community should be able to participate. And that science, math, and technology make your life better, make everybody's life better, so everybody should have that. So what I decided, we're right now applying for the money, it will be a really unique program, is that I decided that the people that are in prison are going to get out of prison, and they're going to be the people that install your cable. They do a lot of things in the community. They come back to the communities where they were from. And we really think that they should have science and technology to make their life better also. So the reentry program, we're right now working with Sheriff Prater on the reentry program. And we've put a proposal together that the people who are in the reentry program, they have 3 programs they learn on. They learn to do maintenance over the reentry program, they learn to do woodworking, and they learn to do metalworks. And so we kept thinking, what is it that we could do? Well, we wanted to put exhibitry in the waiting room when their families come to visit them so that they could interact with their children on a very positive way versus just sitting there talking, that they could go over to an exhibit and say, hey, let's look at this, let's talk about some science. We'll teach them the science, and then they can interact with their kids when they come to visit. Well, that was a really cool idea, and it got really much better when one of the prisoners said, well, we've got a woodworking shop, why can't we make the exhibits? So right now we're looking for money to support the program that the prisoners over there will make their own science exhibit, we'll develop the science content and teach them the science, and they will be able to interact with their kids when they come for visits. So that's a really cool program where our entire community does get involved. Keep your fingers crossed. We do after-school programming at tons and tons of schools. We teach kids in middle school research through Omega Diagnostics funding. We do high-risk exhibits like bodies that Mike talked about and Titanic. Some of those work, and sometimes the Titanic sinks again. Just let you already know that. So why do you have a science center in the community? We do 4 really big things. We do education. And so a teacher comes to me and says, what do my kids learn doing an IMAX? Let me tell you what your kids learn doing an IMAX. We had a young group come in, and they were students that are really at risk. And the teacher had really prepped for their LEAP test and thought, we're going to give them a day off. We're going to just take them down, they're going to go see an IMAX movie, let them chill out because they're going to test tomorrow. She called me, and she said, I can't tell you how great that was. And I said, well, what went on? She goes, on their test was asked, what would you do if you had a pet? She goes, most of my kids don't have pets, but they all had a pet dolphin after the IMAX movie, and they all told pretty much how you would take care of a pet dolphin based on the IMAX movie that they learned, and that they really did learn something when they came to Sci-Port. It is a really, really fun place to be, but we do educational activities for kids from the time they're 18 months old until you're over 100. So come on down. We do workforce development. We do have instead the mayor's summer interns come to us. We also have a team program, so we do a lot of workforce. We also have a lot of our employees are those right out of college. We have a lot of LSU people who we graduate and come on over. We do economic development. We just had our study done, and we contribute $17.7 million to this community in economic development each year. And we do tourism. We have 42 states, different states, people from, that would be the words you need. People from 42 different states came and 11 different countries. So, what's new? I knew you wanted to know. We are embarking on a capital campaign. I know I'm not allowed to ask for money, and I'm not. I'm just telling you what it is. The very first part of it is called Itty Bitty City. In case you were excited, get really excited, we're putting a children's museum inside Sci-Port. So again, if you close your eyes, it's going to look kind of like Texas Street with a B-52 bomber at the top. It's going to have stores. Kids are going to be able to walk into the veterinary and pretend that they're little veterinarians. They're going to be able to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. They're going to use an ATM or a bank. They're going to do all kinds of things in a little itty-bitty city. And every day at 3 o'clock, we're having a Mardi Gras parade. And we should have this all done by the end of next year. So there is a children's museum coming to Sci-Port. We also are doing, the Red River will be redone. This is the next stage of that. We have not done anything in the Red River since the Haynesville Shale. So we really want to up what we're doing on that and talk a lot more about energy in this area. We need the IMAX to go digital, because they're no longer going to make films for IMAX. It's all going to be digital, so we have $1.5 million that we have to come up with to redo the IMAX. And of course, technology and center upgrades. So the whole thing will come to about $8 million. Why does the community want to give that kind of money to Sci-Port? We truly are a gem. Again, Mike said we're the 8th best science center in the nation. When people come to visit Shreveport, Bossier area, they come to Sci-Port to see what's going on. It is a true commitment from this community that we believe in education for our kids. We believe in making this city a wonderful place to live. And again, I have the best job in the museum. So, answer any questions? Yes?
I love IMAX, and I was curious, why don't we ever show any, like, first one?
Okay. We will be showing the first run when we go digital. What happened is when IMAX was put in, we are a short platter. So to upgrade to a long platter where we could show the Batman movies or any of those things would have taken about a $3 million upgrade to do it. And we knew it was going digital in the next 5 years, so that wasn't done. The other problem with all of that is, and I haven't figured it all out yet, is that if you take on a movie like Batman or whatever those ones are, you have to promise so many runs in that movie. We'll be open till like midnight, 12 o'clock when runs on the movie. And schools aren't there long enough to see a Batman. They probably shouldn't be seeing Batman as education. So we still have to show the documentaries for the schools because they couldn't see a full-length movie. So we'll be open forever trying to get those movies shown, unless they start cutting different deals. Yes, Andy.
Are the Colts going to win this weekend?
Of course. I do bleed Colt colors, and I also bleed red and white. That's for Indiana University. But I don't think Pittsburgh is. I don't think the Steelers are going to make it, Andy. Anything else? Well, thank you so much. And as you can tell, I love Sci-Port. If you have any questions, just give me a ring. We'd love to give anybody a tour if you haven't been there in a while. And if you have any interest in helping us out, come on down.